Oh God! I gotta change my title to Braun now. It's Braun's show. What the? As usual, it's Braun's show. Motherfucker. Let me get rid of House of Horrors. Let's get that out of the title because fuck that match. As expected. Because this is Braun's like federation at this point, right? This is Braun's, right? Yes. Did you see the after the show where they showed the backstage gimmick?
No, I don't have time for that. What happened?
Oh, so they got Roman excuse me. So they got Roman backstage and he's selling, right?
Care about that motherfucker.
Nah. This is good, clean stuff. This is more Braun. Braun ain't done. So, yes, he's not finished. So Roman's backstage selling, right? Crawling up the walls, fighting away from. He don't want no help, right? Spitting blood all over the wall, all stupid. There's blood everywhere, bloodbath, attitude era, right? And they bring him over to another ambulance van this time. And I think it was Finlay trying to get him some help. And then for some reason, Finlay just bailed on this guy. And you hear, "I'm not finished with you!" And he just fucking steamrolls the door off the fucking hinges of the ambulance because Roman moves. And he bumps into all of the boxes on the side.
No, this didn't happen.
This happened. This happened right after the show. Yes. You can go on the network, rewind by about 5 or 10 minutes, and it's right there.
Dead ass.
I'm dead sick. Bro, he came in screaming, "I'm not finished with you."
What? Okay, time out. Okay, listen. I was at the bar yesterday with this. I went to the bar to go visit an old bartender of mine because actually two of them because both of them are fucking awesome.
Okay.
And I was talking with her for a little while, and the guy next to me we happened to just talk about music. Somehow we got on the subject of music. And then it turned out he actually used to wrestle in the indies for a little while. So
okay.
We had to talk wrestling at one point. And it's just so hilarious because we both love Braun Strowman.
How did Braun Strowman get into this?
Well, because he was.
Well, if you bring up wrestling at this point, you got to bring up the Strowman.
Well, because he was saying like, do you follow wrestling today? And I was like, yeah, actually I do. I was like, who's your favorite wrestler right now? And he said Shinsuke Nakamura, and I said, oh no, I like Shinsuke, but right now I'd say my favorite is like AJ Styles. We talked about New Japan. We talked about his time in the Indies. He actually used to do hardcore shit.
Oh God, he was one of them Dean Ambrose CZW ass dudes, huh?
But apparently that wasn't tough enough for him, and he went to the army.
Oh.
Afterwards. And he like explained like how like all the gimmick shit works and everything. It was actually kind of an interesting talk because I didn't know all of that went into like matches like that.
Okay.
And how much of it is like gimmicked and how much of it is actually real. And finding out how much was actually real was quite a shock.
Really?
Yeah.
We'll get to that. We'll talk about that. We can save that for after.
But he actually not a fan of Roman Reigns, actually a bigger fan of Kevin Owens and how he wrestles, because he wrestles in a way that the crowd never gets isn't getting behind him. So he always wrestles like a heel. And we talked about in-ring psychology for like about an hour. And he said that's one of the reasons why he doesn't really like Reigns, but he prefers people like Shinsuke, AJ, and especially heels like Kevin Owens. And one of the things that he said with WWE is that it's not so much that they can't build faces, but they do a better job of building their heels as faces and their faces as heels.
Yeah, I agree.
And it was an amazing talk. But anyway, we both shared our love of Braun Strowman.
Yeah.
And he's just like, look, I normally don't like big motherfuckers like that, but that motherfucker's amazing.
Yo, you gotta put respect on that man's name, bro.
Absolutely.
Gotta put respect on that name. So let's start this thing up. Hi everybody, Wyzatv here, along with Blackjack to review Can we even say WWE these days anymore? Because
Yeah, I mean, it's
like
technically their
WWE at
pay-per-view.
this point is like a curse word, right? Like I don't even have WWE
Why
in my
not?
title.
Well, wrestling anything is a curse word on
I just
YouTube.
put Payback 2017. It doesn't even say. It's not in my tags. It's nowhere. I took it out completely. I'm just hoping that at least this will pop up in the search. Just take out WWE.
Just
Maybe
payback
that's the bad
2017.
word. Just Payback. As a matter of fact, I gotta add your name to this as well. So let's introduce this thing. I'm Wyzatv. He's Blackjack. Hopefully you guys can hear him. In the beginning you were a bit low because I had your volume down a little bit.
Asshole.
My bad. But the way it looks on my screen, it looks like you are really loud and me really low. That's fucking piece of shit.
Looks like you were an asshole.
All right, so let's plug Twitters and such. We review wrestling and things. Blackjack apparently is back. You're back to doing this review gimmick, huh?
I guess so.
When your schedule permits it.
Yeah, I mean, again, I just happen to have Sunday the complete day off.
I think that they're gonna start giving that's your day at this point, right?
Apparently, they're looking at WWE pay-per-views and saying, "All right, let's give them off this Sunday." Because I was actually
they got smart to it, Blackjack. They got smart to it.
I actually thought I was working this Sunday, and I looked at the schedule and I was like, "Oh shit, I'm off the entire day."
Hey, bro, they got smart to your gimmick. They know what you're doing.
Yeah,
so they said, "All right, we're just gonna go on ahead and let you work." You can follow me on the Twitters where I talk a whole bunch of crap about wrestling. Some funny, most of it funny. I say this before, 95 of the stuff that I tweet on Twitter about anything in life in general on Twitter is about 95% sarcasm. Don't fucking get worked by me.
Take him 100% seriously.
If they do that, I would have to start blocking people or muting them. I don't block people, I mute them. Maybe one or two people I block. But you can follow me on the Twitter at Wyzanow, WYZNOW, WYZANOW. And also you can follow Blackjack. Blackjack, what is your Twitter? Because you're a little different. You don't want to get as edgy as me.
You keep not knowing my Twitter name, but I got it.
No, I want to put over what you do on your Twitter before.
What I do on my Twitter. It's not so much that I'm not edgy. I'm definitely an asshole.
Bro, you hid from that joke about the Bears quarterback. What was that gimmick that you didn't want to retweet?
I didn't hide from
Mr.
it.
fucking nice guy, fucking Blackjack.
Listen. I retweeted two different things that asshole posted 2 years ago.
But
the only one I didn't retweet was that I like kissing titties. That was the only one that I was like, all right, you know what? This is going a little bit too far because I already did a bunch of fuck Trubisky, I hate him. He sucks. He's not better than Deshaun Watson tweets that I was like, if I go that far.
Yeah, but Deshaun Watson's your guy.
I'm going to be perceived as oh, well, now you're just doing everything in the book. That one I was like, all right, you know what? I'll let him live.
But it wasn't even that bad. It was a funny one.
No, it actually got him over, if anything. So
see, and that's why you should have retweeted, but you completely you backed off Jones that
Actually, that defends my reason for not doing it because it would have actually gotten him more over. So I did not contribute to getting him more over.
Why don't you want to get this guy? Needs all the help that he can get at this point, as far as getting.
No. Barry Trubisky.
He didn't even get a chance yet.
Barry Mitsubishi. I'm not a fan of Mitsubishi.
So tell the people where they can find you on Twitter, doing your PG Blackjack stuff on Twitter.
PG my ass. It's at It's 21 Blackjack. ITS 21 Blackjack. Also on the YouTubes, I have two channels, a sports channel and a Let's Play channel. It's Blackjack XXI Sports and just regular Blackjack XXI. So if you search on YouTube for that, you'll find me.
All right. It looks like I have a new female or a female in my chat that I haven't seen before. Look at that. What's her name? What's that? What did that say? Shit. Sakira? Is that Sakira Jones? Anytime I see a female.
Shakira.
Oh, that's an S. It's an H in there, right? You're right. So, also, before we get started with the show, I got to plug that Matty Boy Singh sent me, finally, the I Got Kids shirt. Blackjack, I got the I Got Kids shirt, finally. That guy.
You actually do have kids. You have like 5 of them, right?
Yeah, probably about 4 more that I don't even know about. So that make like a total of 9. I gotta get me a fucking double Y. I gotta get a quad Y, Blackjack. I gotta get a quad Y for my whole family. That's too many.
That's too many. Well, it depends because you don't know how many kids you have, so you might need bigger than that.
Oh shit! Can I just rent out Vince's house?
You can rent out Bray Wyatt's house at this point.
No, that shit is up for foreclosure. We're done with that house. That house is terrible. Let's see. Anything else to plug? Whatever else needs to be plugged is in the description. Also, I'll plug that other shit some other day. All right, let's talk about this pay-per-view because you do not. I get the feeling that you don't like it. We didn't talk about it whatsoever. I get the feeling that you didn't like it.
This pay-per-view was amazing to start off with, and then it just got ass all of a sudden.
Is that because of the House of Horrors?
It started at House of Horrors, and then it just got ass, and then it got ass-er, and then it got amazing again, and then that was it. But it got amazing in like the closing two minutes.
It got amazing in Braun. You know what?
Yes.
We need Braun like Braun merch that says "In Braun We Trust." We need that. Can we get that, Blackjack?
Can we get it? I mean,
like just like the James Ellsworth face, but just put Braun there. Put like "In Braun We Trust" around it.
Braun. That motherfucker.
Yo, that could be a shirt, Blackjack, with the big beard and shit.
And it just says Braun on it. It just yells. It yells at you.
All right, so where do we put "In Braun We Trust"? Because like Braun save shows. Braun save
that
shows.
Motherfucker does save shows, yeah. You put him on like you have him take over George Washington on the $1 bill.
Bro, they need to put that man on some money. Because that's what he is. Braun is right now printing money for that company. You know what? There was another saving grace in this show, Blackjack. You know what that other saving grace was, Blackjack.
We'll see. Hold on.
You know what it was.
1 second. I'll be right back.
All right. So Blackjack's gonna go beat off in the background, and I guess I'll start this by talking about the.
You thought I wouldn't hear that shit, bitch ass motherfucker.
All right, go ahead, man. Go do what you gotta do.
Fine.
Let me talk about this pre-show that I know you don't want to talk about.
Yeah, no, I want no part of that shit.
So we got Enzo and Cass, and I figured that'd be a good time to finish cooking what I was cooking in the living room. Apparently Enzo got a roll-up on somebody. I just heard it in the background. Paid zero attention to this match because who the fuck would? Whole bunch of talking segments on the pre-show. And then we go into... I'm going to be doing a whole lot of humming because allergies is kicking my ass this season. Like, my pills ain't working, nothing's working. But we got the Miz and the Finn Balor, Phil Bacon, Miz TV segment. And with this one, your man Finn, like, he just comes out and milks his entrance for the longest. And Miz and Maryse, they're in the ring, just, like, not giving a damn. Just sitting there. They should have been looking at their watches because that's all this guy was doing. And they start the interview, and Miz is like, okay, so is everybody done? Because the crowd is still popping for the guy. He's like, all right, is everybody
popping for the guy.
Oh, you were there? You saw this part?
Yeah, no, I was here for that. I didn't want to talk about Enzo and Big Cass because I was not there for that shit, and I didn't care. Apparently, Enzo won by roll-up, and that's all I know, and I'm glad that that's all I know.
Yeah, that's all I said. So,
and he fucking rolled up Luke Gallows.
Oh, that's who got rolled up? That's who it was? I didn't even see it. But all right, finally, Luke Gallows took a pin.
I saw the result, and it said they went for a magic killer. Big Cass had a big boot on Luke Gallows, and Enzo rolled up Luke Gallows.
Yeah, well, fuck that. So
because Enzo and Cass are they're Joey Wheeler. That's it. But anyway, keep going.
Oh my God, Joey.
They're Joey Wheeler. Am I wrong? Am I wrong?
Joey Wheeler. Well, they do get wins.
And a Big Cass wants to go for that finish, and then Enzo comes in, and you're just rolling the fucking dice at that point. That's Joey Wheeler
So fuck those guys. Let's get back to Miz and
Balor.
that other guy. I want to say Miz was okay. This was a good promo segment for Finn.
Yes, I
and
agree.
it's mostly based on his confidence, his posture. Like this whole segment, if you just looked at the way he was postured up in that chair, he looked like Miz was nowhere near his level. Like he just looked like, okay, I'm just here because I'm scheduled to be here. So what are we gonna talk about? That's why I felt coming from Finn. And when he was like, all right, Miz gets in his face. All right, Miz, this talking Miz or whatever it's called, Miz TV show always ends with somebody kicking your ass. I'm going to be the bigger man, and I'm not going to do that. And he goes to leave. Miz gets all riled up, and he says, he calls him a coward. He's running away. He comes back, and Miz puts the May Reese in front of him. Mm-hmm. What's his boy name? Phil Bacon comes out his jacket. He's gonna. How actually did he get the May Reese out of the way? She just.
So here's what happened. Right? So you have it a little backwards, and even drunk me can get this right.
Oh, you've been drinking. I'm completely sober. God damn it.
Oh well, you fucked up then. So the Miz got up and was doing all like the interrogating and shit, and I will agree, Balor was actually pretty damn good on this promo too.
Yeah. See, hey, we give credit when credit's due. God damn it.
Well, here's the thing: he came off
Blackjack.
like a
lot of
person.
People think that all you do is complain. You've taken my place in complaining. I want you to know that.
Nope.
Yeah, this is what the people. I've been looking at comments.
Nope.
It's you.
Nope.
It's you. Nope. So finally, but hey, we give credit where credit is due. This is proof right here. Let's go.
So Finn went ahead and I think he got up at one point to start the confrontation, and then Miz went ahead and just put his wife in front of him. And here was the thing that me and this guy was talking about. They do a bad job of making the heels the faces and the faces the heels. In this segment, the heel was the heel the entire time, and whenever confrontation came about, he just put his wife in front of him and made Finn look like the good guy the entire time. And when Finn went to go ahead and appeal to the crowd, it worked, except for one point when Maurice showed her ass, and they were like, nah, you can let her in the Balor Club.
Oh, yeah, nah, I did peep that part. I know exactly what you're talking about.
They were like, nah, maybe you can let that in. But other than that, no. We want no part of this.
Yeah, I wanted to skip out on the actual context of Phil Bacon and Miz, their dialogue, because I know that you would fill that in.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of just fast forward.
Because here's the thing. The Miz forced Balor to define what the club is. And Balor forced the club to become the fan. So at least now we have a definition of what it is, at least. And it's just that it's essentially now the fans that come to see him. That is what the Balor Club is. I mean, it's nothing
but pretty much just kills this whole Bullet Club thing that people are still screaming about, right? Are we done with this now?
Right.
Finished with this?
So I think that they're putting that to rest for the most part. And he also just went up against Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson on Raw last week too. So I mean, that pretty much puts it away as well. I mean, who knows if they want to do something later down the road? But right now, it doesn't seem like a thing. He defined what the club was. It is the fans. It's not a Bullet Club or anything like that. So
I also feel better about our idea for who they could put with him over the Bullet Club anyway. The whole thing with Bray and that whole gimmick.
Mm-hmm.
I like that idea a little better, at least for right now. Right. But let's continue on with this segment.
So it puts the Maurice in front of her. The Miz puts the Maurice in front of the Finn Balor, and Finn Balor decides to just goes and tells him, you know what, this show usually ends with your ass getting kicked. I'm just gonna leave, and he leaves for a second, and his music hits.
Let's put in perspective what that did for him. Just that line. See, he has some good lines in here.
Yeah, that was a great line.
Like that line right there, it just made me say, "Damn." Because this goes to what we were talking about when I was saying, Finn, in my eyes, looks like mid card, right? And he can carry a mid card. And again, there's nothing wrong with that. You could look at UFC, you could look at boxing, you could look at how WWE built its brand. The mid card, not the heavyweights, is what presented the best matches. UFC, those middleweight guys, they're gonna give you your best matches. Boxing, same thing. Wrestling, same thing. But the way Finn carried himself here, and then he looks at the Miz, a guy who was already WWE champion, I believe twice in both runs. No one give a damn about, but he still was. He still can say that. In one line, he just made Miz feel so small, just by saying, "I'm gonna be the bigger man. You're not on my level, pretty much. You're just not on my level." It's like, damn. And when I heard it and I looked at it, I said, "Damn!" Like, and that's after what the Miz has done in all this time too. That's crazy.
That's how the crowd reacted as well. And the bigger thing was that earlier in that promo, I remember he brought up like Brock Lesnar, like, you know who the Universal Champion is right now, and he's like, yeah. I faced like a bunch of big challenges in my life. I actually welcome the fact that I could face Brock Lesnar for the championship.
Oh,
that's my quest.
Yeah.
It's
go ahead, go ahead.
It's but that line, and then also the line about him saying, you know, I'm gonna be the bigger man and leave. It forced the Miz into a position, and this is what we were talking about in terms of psychology. It forced the Miz to become a heel. It forced him to be the bad guy and to become the narcissist that the Miz is, and be like, no, wait a minute. You're not going to play his music. No, you're going to play my music. In this segment, this is my show. And that gets the crowd to boo, because that's how this should work.
Well, it makes him the whiny heel, which Miz is. He plays a whiny heel great. But let's back up a little bit to that Brock Lesnar thing, right?
Okay.
Once again, just cadence, I'll say personality and confidence made what he said when he addressed the Brock Lesnar thing, it made it believable against all odds of him being a small guy. And he gave you a reason on why you should buy into if he challenges Brock.
Yes.
Miz says, well, Finn says, I'm just going to go win. I'm just going to get my title back.
Mm-hmm.
And Miz is like,
wait,
wrong with you? You know who the champion is right now? And no lie, Blackjack, for a split second, I forgot who the champion was.
Yeah.
I shit you not. I was like, hold up, who is the champion? Like, who's he talking about? I'm not bullshitting. I legitimately forgot Brock was the champion. That's bad. Like, and then like for the next second, I thought he's about to challenge Braun, and then I said, oh fuck, it's Brock. Well, I'm not lying. That's what crossed my mind, because that's who feels like he's the champion. It feels like Braun is the champion, and Brock doesn't exist. That's how I felt.
But again, it's because we're seeing them every single night.
Right. And just his way of addressing it is, all right, Brock's a champion. Yeah, all right, that's okay. I've challenged big guys all my career. Everybody's been bigger than me. Like, look, I'm a small guy.
Yeah.
I welcome the challenge. Bring him on. And he didn't sound the least bit worried whatsoever. So
no, he sounded calm, cool, and collected.
In that promo, he carried himself like a big man.
Yes.
I like that. Whoever put this whole thing together, that was a masterpiece for him. That helped him tremendously, because we don't get much time with him on the mic. And we don't get much time with him to give us any piece of his personality, any characteristics, or anything. And this right here really helped.
Script, and it's a weird thing, because like before this, I would have said they've done nothing to try to get Finn over or to make me believe that he could re-challenge again for the Universal Championship. But tonight they did.
Yeah.
That segment right there is better than anything they have attempted thus far since the singles push of Roman Reigns.
Wait, what?
I can't think of one thing that they have done for Roman Reigns thus far.
Why do you bring Roman into this?
No, because I'm thinking in general of just like, you want to push Roman as because WWE in their mindset wants to put Roman as the top guy, correct?
Okay.
So you have a situation here in which Finn Balor here is saying, hey, I want to reclaim the Universal title. And who knows if he will or not.
Mm-hmm.
But you're trying to elevate him as a top star, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Isn't it weird that in this segment, though, that a guy that they're trying to push, possibly, I don't know if they are or not.
I think
They're
that
trying
they're
to
behind
push.
him. I think they're behind
I think that they're, yeah, I have a
but I
feeling
think
that
they're
are.
giving him the slow burn.
Right.
Like, they
But
want to
that
make
in
you
this-
care about him, because at first they just pushed him to it. And now,
Correct.
now he's just floundering. We don't know. And people are going to start to feel for him because he's not rocking it where they want him to be.
Right.
So
but
the payoff,
isn't it
they're
weird
building the
to you? And
payoff for him.
Yeah, and it's not a negative on Roman. It's more of a negative on booking and how they like to and how they do things. Isn't it weird that this segment that essentially was put together has done way more for Finn than anything that they have essentially attempted outside of you know what? Actually, now that I think about it, Vince McMahon coming back was maybe the only thing that may have been better for this. Because they got Philly to cheer for Roman. But outside of that, I can't think of anything else that they've done. And essentially the 3-year single push that has been Roman Reigns that has helped him whatsoever. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like how could they come together with that for Finn Balor and yet they couldn't do that for Roman? You know what I mean?
It's different characters.
And I don't know if
it's different characters.
Right.
One guy you have to build into believability. Roman is believable. It's a different. That's different. In one way, Roman's thing is they don't know if they should build this guy or book this guy for sympathy, which they're trying to push, but that doesn't fit his character because he comes off as smug, over the top. I'm better than everybody, but we're trying to put sympathy behind him. That's the part where they fail. Push the guy the way he is. Simple as that. Don't try this sympathetic babyface thing. Just if you want him to be babyface, then let him be babyface, but let him be the character that he gives you on TV. Don't play with it.
You know what? Now that you bring that up, that's actually a good point because they didn't try to go sympathetic for Finn here at all.
Nope. Complete confidence. You know what? If you put Roman, like let's say that Roman didn't have all of this heat with the crowd, and you give him this script right here, and he delivers
it would work.
Like Finn, it works because it's his confidence. Just complete confidence. Like, I watched this, and I felt like Finn is like, nobody could touch me. That's how I felt watching him in this promo.
There was also realness to, like, at points when Finn would cut off the Miz. And that interjection at points when the Miz would make a point and he'd, like, try to snap back at him, that realness misses in a lot, is missing, I should say, in a lot of WWE promos. And usually when that interjection happens, I feel like it's a real argument. Like when Bliss and Sasha Banks kept interjecting in each other's promo, I was like, oh, wait a minute. Is there some real heat? Like, what's going on? You know, that interjection needs to happen a lot more in WWE promos in general. To help get people over because you want that feeling of, is this real to be there?
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. So are we done with this segment or?
Yeah, we can move on.
We can move on to the actual show now. Before we do, I want to make sure I got a couple of guys that wanted to support the stream. We got Zach Attack. Says here's a donation from the Iron Woman Alexa Bliss. Taking the title off that grown-ass child Bayley. Plus, hashtag thank you Strowman. That guy's over. And also from Bomb Poom. I repackage his name every time, and I swear I give him a different name every time. The way to get Roman over is to have him put guys over. Does that hurt or help? The way to get him over is to have him put guys over. Hey, nothing wrong with that. I kind of agree. That it can help. It can help. So starting the actual show, we got Kevin Owens and Chris Jericho. Blackjack, did you care about this match?
The wrestling made me care about it. Before the match happened, I didn't care about it. But the wrestling, again, because I told you, me and this guy were talking about in-ring psychology. Mm-hmm. And at first, I didn't care about it. But over time, I started to. And I like the...
Can I make you laugh?
Okay.
Look at the last comment in the chat if you can see it. from William Bender. I'm not going to read it. You read it.
From William Bender?
Yeah.
I wonder why they had Bayley loose in her home.
That's a serious question, Blackjack. Let me not do that.
I just love that he also misspelled lose and it's loose.
Yeah, I don't know how old William is, so let me not. Because WWE.
Because I mean, it was the reason why I had her losing with.
So
we're in Bayley's hometown. Oh, she's definitely.
She's definitely. And Alexa told you that.
Yep.
Oh, we're in your hometown, and your dad's gonna be there. Oh, this is perfect.
Perfect. Awesome. Let me you gonna hold this L, but we'll get to that in a second.
Right.
So, I mean, the one thing that they tied back into this match was Chris Jericho put the finger, the tip of Kevin Owens' finger.
Oh yeah, I like that played into it as well.
On the list, and commentary made a note of it. It was like, oh look, Kevin Owens' finger got to the ropes again. And Jericho, in revenge, it wasn't like he was being a heel or anything like this, but in revenge, because he's like, damn it, it's his finger again. That finger's
the reason why he lost the title, according to Jericho.
I'm going to go and take his finger out. He took his finger out, put him in the walls again, and he won.
Oh, quick side note. We will be doing call-ins at the end of the show. If you want to get in queue, the Discord link is in the description below. Just join up and jump right into any of the open voice channels or any of the voice channels that you could go into, and we'll bring you into the chat once we get to the call-in section. All right, let's keep going.
Yeah, I really liked overall the psychology of this match, and I love that in storyline they tied in things together, and it was actually a really fun match. It was a lot better than I was expecting it to be. And even though Chris Jericho won and I wasn't expecting that to happen, I thought for sure Kevin Owens was just going to win and Jericho goes on tour and fucks off. Jericho won and I'm like, hey, the babyface won and he's actually over. I was happy.
And now you get a triple threat with him, Owens, and AJ Styles. So let me ask you this. How old is Chris Jericho?
Chris Jericho must be 43. I imagine. Let me see. Jericho.
It's got to be older.
Give me Chris Jericho. Yeah, Jericho WWE. Who the fuck else do I want when I type in Jericho?
There's other Chris Jericho. The TV show.
Oh, Jesus.
47?
He's not 43. He's 46.
I was close. All right. The reason I ask you that is because I'm getting to the point where when it goes down in history, Chris Jericho might go down as the most underrated wrestler of all time.
Bruh, I said he was the greatest of all time at one point. I remember we did this and you fucking laughed at me.
Oh, no, I still disagree with you. But the reason I say that, I said underrated. The reason
now he's underrated, though.
Yeah, and the reason I say that is because he goes out there and does not look his age in the ring. Now, he doesn't bring it like he used to, but he's still keeping up with today's wrestlers. And still able to put on a believable match and still able to go out there and have good segments and to carry himself as a guy that you pay attention to when his segments come on TV. His age, 46 years old, you could look at some of the guys that are that old. Like, let's look, how old is Kane, Mark Henry, Big Show? They're all in that same age bracket. And those guys can barely fucking walk. Now, granted, it's because a lot of those guys are big, and it kills off their legs. And Mark Henry's
Kane
heavy.
Is 50.
Kane's 50. It's the same age range. It's 4 years. Jericho probably got a birthday
yeah,
coming
still,
up
yeah. Like Jericho's like 30. Sorry, not 30. 3 years away from that. Essentially, he turns 40. What did I say? He was 47 or 46?
They say he's going to be 47 in November, according to
He's going to be 47 in November. Yeah. Mark Henry is 45, so he's technically younger than Jericho.
Wow. And he's still carrying himself and keeping up with these young guys. That is, like, no one's going to really talk about stuff like that. But that's just a huge testament to Jericho. How he's able to keep himself up with 48. It. Huh? Oh, yeah, I'm 48.
RBI said Wise is 48.
Yeah, somebody kind of messed up and said 47. No, I'm 48. I'll be 49 in July. What?
Yeah, are you serious?
Yeah. What?
This gimmick is great. Anyway, keep going.
All right. But yeah, I just wanted to say that about Jericho because he's in there and he's just wrestling this guy, and it looks as though he's wrestling a pair, or Kevin Owens is wrestling a pair. It doesn't look like he's wrestling fucking old ass Bill Goldberg or anything like that. It doesn't look like he has to carry. It doesn't look like he has to carry Jericho's lumbering ass around. That's not the case, and that to me, it just like I'm talking about of all of the wrestlers I've seen, the most underrated of all time, in my opinion. As for the match, until they got to that finger spot,
he's married to a former Miss Canada too. So,
What do you say about Canada? The black.
Did you die?
What'd you say about Canada? Can you hear me?
Yeah, no. I didn't say anything about Canada. That I think his wife is a former Miss Canada contestant or something like that.
Oh, okay. So, why are they saying I'm in my 30s? I'm 40. Whatever. So, let me not look at the chat. It's going to distract me a little bit. So, I would say up until the point where they did the finger spot where Owens gets his finger on the rope, I was bored of the match. But once he got that finger on a rope, then they were able to tell that story, and they were able to revert back to the WrestleMania match, and why everything took a turn the way it did, and how Jericho lost the title. One thing that kind of bothered me a little bit about this match, and maybe I missed it, but on commentary they wasn't really putting over that whoever wins this match is going to be on SmackDown, or that whole deal. Or just for clarity, do we know if Kevin Owens lost this match, does he go back to Raw? I mean, not hindsight, but we would think that he stays there because they didn't say that he has to go back to Raw if he lost. They said that the winner is going to be on SmackDown. So does that mean that Jericho, Owens are both going to be on SmackDown? If so, you got Jericho, Owens, and you also got Tucker, and it's like, oh God, I thought we split these guys up, and here they are all back together again. That's going to get under my skin, because I don't want to see that anymore. Like, I'm done with that whole thing. At the same time, bringing over Jericho, does that mean that Baron Corbin gets to pick his teeth with him? They did bring over Jericho for Baron Corbin. All questions that are very interesting, because if you look at the heel side of that that U.S. title picture, you have AJ, who's a face, Tucker, who's a face, Jericho, who's a face, and then you got Corbin and Owens, who are your heels. Who else we got in there? Who else we got? I don't know.
AJ Styles. You have number one contender Jinder Mahal, who we have to talk about.
Sir, he's your heavyweight champion right now. He's your WWE champion right now.
You have Randy Orton.
I was talking about the U.S. title picture.
The Mojo Rawley. He's a guy. Dolph Ziggler is also he's a guy.
So those are people that don't have real direction. So needless to say, I like once they the match picked up at that point with the finger on the rope. Jericho just goes full onslaught on that one finger, which built the story of the match. And I don't know if somebody sent me a link to the Smart Money bets when those came in, and I saw who was going to be winning matches, allegedly according to Smart Money. And when they had Jericho, I said, "What? Wait, what?" And it said, maybe by DQ, but for him to win the title completely, I'm like, why? Just why? Why they do this, Blackjack? You don't have an answer on why.
Don't know.
So, what was our next match?
Maybe it was just because they needed Jericho over there to have another body. That's it.
Yeah, because there's nothing for him to do on Raw if we're being frank about it.
Yeah, I mean, Jericho loses and he stays on Raw. Then what?
Yeah, nothing really for him to do.
So up next we had Austin Aries and Neville competing for the Cruiserweight Championship. Another great psychology match, which I paid very heavy attention to throughout this pay-per-view. The psychology in this match was awesome.
I like the match for what it was.
Why is it apparently going to... Okay, the finish... Yeah, I actually thought they could have gone further with the finish, but they at least went in the direction of what I thought they should have done for the finish, and it was great.
Let me ask you this question about the finish, because we got the finish, but as Neville was leaving, did you pay attention to his mannerisms?
A little bit, yeah.
He gave off the feel that I can't believe, me as a champion, I can't believe I resorted to this to keep my title. But when they announced and still your cruiserweight champion, then he kind of smirked a little bit, like his demeanor changed, like, yeah, I do whatever it takes to keep my crown.
I'm still champ. It's my title. Fuck off.
Yeah. So I like that, and I like that's why I like that finish. Plus it gives you that heat. It also gives you it also plays into the TJ Parker thing where why did all of a sudden Neville start getting into the head of TJ Parker? Because he feels like, this guy, Aries, is a serious challenge. I'm going to need some backup. So now he sees somebody's coming for his crown in his kingdom, and now he's getting some security, some guards for him, as a king should. He should have guards. I think that what they're doing, psychology-wise, is perfect. I'm not sure if people are paying that much attention to understand it.
He's playing Triple H.
Ooh, I like that analogy.
It's my title. Fuck off. I'll do whatever I have to do to protect it. And that's how you get heat on people.
And you put Evolution around you.
Yeah, you put Evolution around you. So, you want to go through me? Oh, no, here's Ric Flair. Oh, no, here's Randy Orton. Oh, no, here's Batista. And if you get through them, maybe you get a shot at me. Maybe. But you had to go through them in order to get a shot at the king. So hopefully he gets more people on board with them, and it works to his advantage. But I overall, like, the psychology in this Austin Aries Neville match was great. I loved Austin Aries just, because he came off as a real person, and that's the big thing in all this. When wrestling doesn't feel like we talked about this too. When wrestling feels less like a ballet and a dance and more as if it's a real event that's happening, and the selling in the ring is real enough to a point, that you believe it, and you can get behind a babyface actually firing back up to go and try to get after someone. And the heel sells enough, the babyface coming back, or the heel sells enough, the injury that he places upon a babyface, it makes you believe more in the match and gets you more invested. And that's what the both of them did. And Austin Aries came back enough to a point that he got him 2 in the last chancery. And when he did there at the end, what I was expecting to happen was that Neville might rake the eyes of the ref, like trying to scratch for the ropes, and then pretend as if in his time trying to scratch for the ropes, he accidentally rakes the ref's eyes, and then pretends to tap out
so that he breaks the hold.
Yeah, so that he breaks the hold and then pins Aries. But going this way too, where they had
you protect
just
Aries.
Neville. Yeah, Neville just go ahead.
You protect them both, honestly.
What's that?
I say you protect them both in this situation, the way that they did.
Yeah, in this situation, they're both protected. But I see, because in my way, I was like, if you want to keep the belt on Neville, you can at least have him pretend to tap out to Austin's move, and at least kind of give him that to say, well, he made him tap out. The crowd can then chant that at Neville, and then if you want Neville to go over on the next pay-per-view and in the feud, you can do that. And it can go either way too. If you want Aries to go over, then it proves that, he should have beaten him at the last pay-per-view, and now he finally gets the title he deserves. I mean, but this finish was fine too. I had no problems with this one either. Where they had
if
just
they put
Neville
that title on Neville now. I mean, if you take the title off of Neville now I'm okay with it, because it feels like Aries is legitimately, like, not only worked his way up to it, but now it's like
he legitimately feels like he can beat Neville. Like, Neville had to resort to this
Like nobody
in
has
order
ever
to
felt like
stop
they
a
were a
match.
challenge for Neville. And
Yes.
Neville presented himself like no one is a challenge for me. And now you have a serious contender for that title. Not just that, but he made you, because Neville hasn't lost.
Right. That's the selling point.
Neville has not lost. So there's no chink in his armor. Finally, somebody's able to put a chink in his armor. Okay, now we're sold. Now we're into this, and we can believe that this guy is going to be the one that can take the title off of him. And then if you have it so that he actually doesn't, the heat that Neville gets from Aries climbing that mountaintop and finally getting there, and Neville still finds a way to beat him and kick him off that mountaintop, and now you got to find your way back up here from the bottom. That's good heat for Neville if they have this match again and Neville keeps the title.
Oh yeah.
So there's a lot of ways they could go with this. I like it.
Yeah, that's what I liked about it, was that you could still go both ways on the next match, and I don't think anybody will necessarily be disappointed either way. So Neville can still keep his heat, and if Aries goes over, it's like, well, great, you've made another star, and Aries can now go on his reign as champion, and he's beaten a legitimate a legitimate heel and a legitimate champion in his route of doing so, because that was not happening when TJP went ahead and just dropped it to Rich Swann.
He dropped it to the boy with the long hair. He's real old. What was his name? Brian Kendrick.
Brian Kendrick, yeah, he just dropped it to Brian Kendrick, and then Rich Swann took it from Brian Kendrick, who he never took seriously, and then finally Neville just took that shit off of him and said, "Fuck you, I'm the king of the cruiserweights." So finally, you have an over champion, and now Aries, who feels like a legitimate contender in a long feud with Neville. If he were to win, he would feel like a legitimate champion, and you can have him go on a run for a little while until you build up the next guy. And right now, I don't think they have a next guy built up thus far, which presented that opportunity for Neville, because 205 Live just it wasn't doing well for a while, and having Neville to come in and be that resurgence.
Oh, that helped him a ton.
Yeah, as a fresh new heel to just come in and kick everybody's ass and say, "I'm the king of the cruiserweights," was amazing for them. So if they want to go the route either way, I think it does wonderful things for 205 Live and for other guys. So that's my overall thoughts.
I'm just in the background trying to fix something. One of these days I'm gonna figure this out. God damn it, it's just a mess. All right, so we move on to the next match. What was the next match?
Hardy Boys versus Cesaro and Sheamus.
I was okay with this match as well.
This is a little weird for me.
Why was it weird?
The match I didn't care about. I did not care about the match whatsoever.
All right, well, let's start there. Why didn't you care about the match?
It's the Hardy Boys versus Cesaro and Sheamus. That's it. That's it. It's just a match. And as I was watching the in-ring, again, because I was specifically watching this pay-per-view with in mind psychology.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I got invested in Jericho and Owens.
As you're
I got
watching
invested
for psychology, are you paying attention to commentary as well? Because they got to sell it as well.
Well, yeah, because there was one thing that they said in particular about like Matt Hardy
when he was swinging them.
Yeah, when he was swinging them, and he said he might be in a new dimension.
Say he might be in a new universe after this.
Well, I made a joke about it, and I actually made a joke about it the move before that. Why am I this clear thinking when I'm drunk? Anyway, because Matt Hardy took Cesaro and started smashing his head into the turnbuckle as the crowd was chanting "delete," and I was like, and I made a joke on Twitter. I was like, "I'm gonna smash your head so hard you're gonna remember when you were Antonio."
God damn, Antonio Cesaro. Fuck.
Yeah.
With Oksana.
Yeah, I made that joke, and then Cesaro started to swing him, and I heard that thing on commentary, and I was like, "Oh yeah, well I'm gonna swing you so hard you're gonna go back to being irrelevant."
Damn.
Remember, because version 1 Matt Hardy,
not so good.
I looked up the lyrics for that. I could not believe what the actual lyrics.
Oh, and there was something about being irrelevant. The lyrics.
No, there wasn't. No, I was the one who said the irrelevant thing.
Okay. But moving along from that, So as you're watching this, you're more so not entranced by it because there's no story here, right?
Right. There's no story.
But I felt
By
as
the way,
though
speaking of commentary, just the hitch back for a quick second here. Did you catch Booker T saying Kid has a great future for Austin Aries, who's 39 years old?
I love Booker. I love
and
that guy. He's the greatest.
Kid has a great future. At 39 years old, he can be a great world heavyweight champion in 10 years.
That's your Booker right there.
That's my Booker.
That's your Booker
impersonation. Yeah.
So,
hey, let me tell you something, dog. Listen, I watched this match between Matt Hardy and the Hardy Boys and Jeff Hardy, and they got in the ring with Cesaro and Sheamus. And he was in the ring, and he came down to the ring, and he was like, "I'm Team Extreme," and he was like, "No, delete." Shucky ducky quack quack, and he walked down, and he did his version 1 thing. And he's like, "I get slapped a tornado."
Oh my God! You gotta give me a "Can you dig that?"
Now, can you dig that, sucker?
Oh, that's pretty good, Booker. That's a pretty good Booker. That's pretty decent. But yeah, the match. It's hard to get into the Hardys matches because you know in your mind you don't want to see them wrestle as the Hardys. That's not
Correct.
what you. I don't know how it is for people that don't know about the
exactly
broken gimmick. I don't know how it is for them, but for people that do know about the broken gimmick, it's really hard to watch the Hardys, especially when you got Matt just out of his fucking mind. You know, like he's still like half broken here. So it's like, dude, you gonna give it to us all the way. But then you got Graves dropping those nuggets, those little hints and spoilers in there about, you know, another universe being broken, yada yada yada. Just dropping those hints in there for you. It's gonna happen, obviously. I'm afraid.
Yeah, but the thing is that like you're waiting for it to happen, and because it hasn't happened yet, I'm like just not interested in Matt Hardy and Jeff Hardy just being the Hardy Boys, you know?
Right.
Because the whole appeal of the Hardy Boys coming back isn't that, oh shit, the Hardy Boys are coming back. It's, oh shit, Broken Matt and Obsolete Jeff are coming to WWE.
The obsolete mule.
Yes.
My problem is WWE is going to have to rewrite the script of the broken gimmick.
Yeah.
I'm afraid of that, especially after watching the House of Horrors. So we got a heel turn at the end of this match because...
But after the match was good. After the match, I thought was good, and it wasn't what I was expecting either. I was expecting this to go the other way.
Oh, you're expecting the Hardys to wait? What? What would you expect?
Because I was waiting for broken Matt Hardy and Jeff Hardy to finally start, and instead it resulted in a Cesaro and Sheamus heel turn.
Well, I think that the brokenness got to start. Like you got to first write them off of TV a little bit because that's how broken Matt Hardy started. Mm-hmm. You know, there was a spot that
he won the TNA World Heavyweight Championship, and then
you know him and Brother Nero. They had a match, and apparently there was some spot in which looked pretty dangerous for Matt, and that was their way of writing him off of TV for, I don't know if it was 2 weeks or a month or 2 months. I don't know because I don't watch TNA, but they wrote him off of TV for a little bit, and then he came back with this weird shit, which turned into the brokenness that we know as today. So
yes,
they can't have that happen like just in the match, right? Then you need that time off from them. Now, I do want to say Cesaro as a heel, like in my mind, I was like, yes. And at the same time, I'm like, Cesaro's a heel. Like it looked and felt weird, but at the time it still felt like, all right, you know, a nice change of pace. You know, maybe let's see where he goes with this. As a face, he's fine. Absolutely. But, you know, they just want to, you know, give him a change of pace. There's nothing wrong with that. It just felt weird, but it's cool. It
felt weird because I thought that the result of this, if they lost, was that Cesaro just goes on his own and decides Sheamus isn't worth it.
They're
and
keeping
maybe
him as they're keeping him as a they have
apparently,
to keep him as a tag team because there's no tag team division. That tag team division is fucked. They have to keep them as a tag team.
Yeah.
Plus, they're really good as a tag team. And now, now that they're heels, is like Cesaro has come over to Sheamus's side. It's almost like, all right, Sheamus has tried this your way, sir. Now let's try this Sheamus's way. And then they're, fist bumping after and the whole thing. I'm like, finally these two are like really, really together as heels. I just love Cesaro in tag teams, especially when it's a guy that's around his same size and they could play that brawl and beat him up tag team. I like that. It felt good as they beat him up and the ref's like trying to get Cesaro away. He's like, I could keep going. The ref's like, back off. He's like, I'm not finished. I could keep going. Now I was like, yes, the motherfucker, yes. Cesaro's just way too fucking nice to be a heel. It's going to be weird. Even though we've seen him as a heel, but, we'll see how this one turns out. Now, we done with this one?
That's all I have to say. You got anything else?
No, I don't got anything else on this match. Did we get the women next?
The love of my life. Alexa Bliss versus Bayley.
Alexa Bliss made history tonight, Blackjack.
Yes, she did. I no longer have to hear about Charlotte or the 4 fucking horsewomen. No, it's Alexa Bliss's fucking turn, as she became the first woman to become SmackDown and Raw Women's Champion, defeating Bayley, and not in the way that I thought she would either. I was actually, believe it or not, I was actually kind of taken aback at this finish.
You thought Sasha was going to be a part of this.
No. It wasn't so much that I thought Sasha was going to be a part of this, but a big part of this that I wanted to happen was that Alexa would outsmart Bayley. So I was waiting for, because did you see what I actually tweeted?
Yeah, you did say that when we did the prediction video.
Did you see what I tweeted at the beginning of this match?
No.
I said, Alexa Bliss is wearing her Blake and Murphy gear.
She was.
Kind of wondering.
Like, she was wearing gold, Blackjack. There was gold in it.
I said Blake and Murphy interference inbound or something like that.
I should fucking Braun Strowman kick you in your chest.
Wow. Someone has legit heat with fucking Blake and Murphy.
What the fuck were you thinking? All right, go ahead. That was your joke of the night.
Well,
okay.
She never kissed a boy, so why not throw 2 boys in front of her and she won't know what to do with them?
Oh, God.
I don't know. But, I was really thinking like, all right, maybe some interference will happen. Maybe Bliss will like do something to like throw her into something and it'll prove that she's smarter than her or something like that. And we'll get to the finish in a minute. Altogether, I thought it was a pretty good match overall. Bayley worked well. Bliss worked well in this as well. They both look great.
Like, for me, this was like Bayley finally on the main roster has a good match that we could, look back to. I had asked, when I did call-ins a few weeks ago, I had asked the person, name me one good match that Bayley had on the main roster. And, of course, we got nothing really to work with. But now we have something, because I feel as though this has been Bayley's best match on the main roster.
Oh, on the main roster. Okay.
Yeah, main roster. It was a good match for me. I enjoyed it. Alexa, for the most part, dominated the match. She carried the match offensively with Bayley doing all the selling. Bayley's really good at selling. That's a very big strong point of hers, because her moveset isn't that vast.
But that's fine. I mean,
right? Because
her moveset, somebody's moveset doesn't necessarily need to be big. Like I was talking to the guy yesterday, and he actually really loves John Cena's work. He actually really does think because I even brought up like 2015, and I was like, really? You thought during 2000? He was like, no, I actually loved his U.S. Championship work, and I was like, but what about the indie wrestling stuff? And he was like, outside of like him trying to do the stunners and everything, I thought his work was actually really good. And he really does appreciate like John Cena's ring work altogether. And I agreed with him to a bit. I was like, Cena is
he doesn't sell. He's a terrible seller.
That's the problem. But that's the problem I have with him is his selling.
Psychology. Like, I had conversation about psychology and selling, but he likes Cena's work. His psychology sucks.
Well, that's the thing, is that he doesn't. Well, because he actually brought up the Nexus at one point, and he actually hated what Cena did with the Nexus. So that tells you something. He's been watching wrestling the whole way through to bring up the Nexus, and I'm like, I only know like the surface of the Nexus. I can only imagine. Yeah, and he was just like, yeah, no, there's no excuse for that shit. But outside of Cena's psychology, he actually thinks that Cena is actually a really good wrestler.
I'm sorry to hear that, but let's get back to this match.
But yeah, back to this match. Just the psychology of it overall was good, and that Bliss. This was the connection to Cena that I was trying to make. Was that they don't necessarily have a vast move set, the both of them, but they know how to use their moves efficiently and know how to use their moves in a way in which to get themselves over and project whatever they need to. So, you know, her like kind of like skateboarding on a Bayley, or, you know, throwing a quick forearm or something like that, or her being like, oh shit, okay, Bayley's woken up and can kind of do something. I'm just gonna back up real quick. That psychology and that limited moveset actually helps her, because it sells the fact that she is just what she says, like what they portray her as, 5 feet of fury. It's just this 5-foot woman who's in the ring, can do a few. Yeah, she can do a few wrestling moves, but outside of that, it's like, oh shit, I kind of need to figure out a way out of the situation and outsmart my opponents to win.
See,
and there were situations.
Bliss's ring style, because she's small, it really helps that she doesn't have too many, like, let's go to this choreographed move, or let's go to this choreographed moves. Her matches should feel like she's fighting.
Yes.
You know, and trying to find ways to outsmart you to get the upper hand, which she does. And once she gets that upper hand, she pounces on you and she's pulling hair. But she's not pulling hair just like any old girl. No, I'm gonna step on your back and pull your hair off of its fucking roots. Like,
oh yeah, I love how she does that. She does that with a lot of people, where it's like she'll go ahead and just stand on her hair. I mean, people will call that diva fighting or whatever. Like that's what the divas did. But I mean, it's in almost ring, like that looks like that.
I was gonna say her characteristics are very similar to Harley Quinn, and it's, you know, pretty much, you know, you could say it's who she designed her look off of. It matches so perfectly because Harley Quinn is in that world of superheroes, and she can't fucking fight. She can't do nothing. She could just shoot a gun, but she'll find a way to fuck with you. You know, and laugh at you and make joke of you. And that's Alexa Bliss to a T. She doesn't have to keep up with you. She'll just outsmart you and fucking find ways to make it her type of match.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was also a weird thing that we talked about too, because when we talked about psychology, one of the things that we talked about was like, you know, why do you think Batman or like Superman aren't really the people that people focus on? And I was like, well, because he brought up like, you know, who's your favorite person in Batman? And I was like, you know, I kind of really dig like Poison Ivy. The Joker's really cool. And he's like, well, why do you care about them? It's like, well, because they have, you know, Poison Ivy, just essentially her whole character is that, you know, she technically wants to do a good thing. Like she wants to essentially make the world green and, you know, help plants and whatnot, although she kind of fucks over people in the process. But, you know, her reasoning for doing so isn't necessarily bad. And he's like, that's the problem with WWE, is that they build up Batman to defeat people like that who don't necessarily have a bad thing about them, and they make the bad guys way more interesting in comparison. Not that necessarily Bliss is that in a situation. Bliss is definitely the bad person, but her goal at the end of the day is just to become champion. And that's why I thought it was weird that in this match they just had her win clean over Bayley. But at the same time, I was like, no, that actually maybe consolidates a little bit more of it. Yeah, no, she's the bad person here. She was actually able to beat Bayley and didn't have to resort to anything.
Yeah, heels don't have to win dirty all the time. Sometimes you gotta win clean to legitimize yourself.
Right, and her winning
this was
clean
a statement match for her. Like we said, this was back when she became the #1 contender, that she needs to make a statement for herself so that she fits in on the Raw brand.
Yeah, like, and essentially the finish of the match was Bayley. And I don't even know so much that Alexa Bliss countered it. That's the story they were trying to tell.
Kind of like Bliss, like a oopsie, I stepped out of the way kind of gimmick.
Yeah, Bayley launched herself into, I think she tried to do something, and Bliss got out of it, and Bayley
She took
launched
the shoulder
herself.
and the side of her face to the steel.
Yeah,
Not steel, but whatever that shit is that they have now to pull.
And to the LCD board, and then
it made a nice sound too on that
yeah,
connection.
it did.
Really good sound.
Oh yeah, it sold pretty well. Bliss saw it and was like, I guess this is my opening, and tried to take advantage. The ref tried to back her off. Bayley then went for a roll up,
and I'm like, oh,
and like I said, Bliss won with a fucking DDT.
Now, where'd you pull that one out of?
It's technically her other finisher.
No, what is it?
Yeah, you haven't been paying attention.
Oh shit, I'll be busy. I thought it was a good match, great finish for me because she won clean, and that's all I needed for her to do.
I mean, that's the way that you get heat on somebody. If a heel actually wins clean and
she went in there and did everything she said she was gonna do.
Yeah, she did everything she said she was gonna do, and she continues to be a dick about it. Yeah, you can get her over as. So, I mean, even though I would have liked to have seen Alexa Bliss cheat a little bit, I'm not too mad about it. I thought
she did a little something during the. Well, she doesn't really, not really cheating, but just being a bitch. She doesn't cheat.
She tries to outsmart, yes, and she does a good job of being the bitch character, and it works. And I mean, her motives are technically kind of pure for the most part. I mean, wanting to be champion is not a bad thing. The way she goes about it is what makes her bad.
Right.
And having her win clean now, I think that if she begins to act as a heel to do whatever it is to hold on to that championship is going to build her more as a hateable person towards somebody else taking over as champion for her, whoever they build that up to. But overall, I just thought the match was good. It's a fine match. And up to this point, the pay-per-view was great.
All right. Now let's get to the fun.
Bray Wyatt versus Randy Orton in a of Horrors match.
The House of Horrors.
This is the dumbest fucking thing I've ever watched.
You know what I did as I was watching this?
What did you do? Did you trip on LCD before you watched this match?
No. Actually, I left. But I started watching it on my phone. So as I'm watching this match, I said, you know what? I'm not watching a wrestling match, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not watching WWE trying to sell an unsanctioned match. That's not what I'm watching. Yeah. What I'm watching is I'm watching a movie. I'm watching a part of a movie.
That's
it. Once I put myself into that mind frame, I was able to bypass all of the fact that this is on a pay-per-view, and I just watched it as it was a part of a movie. And if in watching it as a part of a movie, it was okay. Could have been better, but it was okay. No.
If anything, I watched this and I was like, this is the worst advertisement.
I don't understand why it was House of Horrors. Like, there was nothing in there that was scary.
Neither do I.
There's
but
just two guys.
I watched this and I was like, I know. But I watched this and I was like, this is the worst advertisement for WWE studios ever. This makes me never want to watch a WWE movie. Never. I don't want to know.
Like, what is it that made this a horror? You listen to the promos and they're trying to sell us as if every room you go in is going to be like a different hell for you. What was the hell here?
Here's okay. By the way, did you know
why were there no other people in this house?
Okay, I'm gonna get to that in a second.
Where the fuck was Bo Dallas?
Did you know that people were actually chanting "boring" during this match that was going on?
Yeah, I got a couple of people that were there. They tweeted me that they were chanting, "This is boring."
They were smart enough to just not put in the crowd noise and just let you listen to the movie if you were watching it on the network. But here's my other problem with it too. So you've seen what was it? The fight for the Hardy brand, what was it called? Final Deletion or something like that?
Yeah.
It was very clear and laid out. Like, if you even watch it on its own and you don't know the backstory to it, it's Matt Hardy is there with his son and his wife and Senior Benjamin, and Matt Hardy's just mowing a lawn and sculpting out the landscape and everything. and he sends a fucking drone over to Jeff Hardy to say, meet me here to do X, Y, and Z. So okay, they have agreed to meet at a location to have a wrestling match. They go to get a referee. They bring in Senor Benjamin. There's pinfalls, and the ref will count 1, 2, or whatever. And as ridiculous as that fucking thing got, at least I could suspend my disbelief of all right, at least Jeff Hardy was told to meet him at this place to have this wrestling match. Jeff Hardy at least showed enough interest in fighting back Vanguard and everything like that to go after Matt Hardy. At least there was a ref in this match. At least, there was certain things happening, and it felt okay, they're at least having a match. There was no part during the actual House of Horrors where I was like, this is a match going on. And they sold it in a way in which you were supposed to believe that this was a part of the match. There was no match part of the House of Horrors. It was just,
there's
a disconnect meeting in a house.
There's a disconnect. Yeah. You're watching the pay-per-view, whereas this should have been something that should have been, this should have actually have been just TV. Mm-hmm. This should have been on TV, on SmackDown or on Raw, wherever they want to put it. It shouldn't have been on pay-per-view, because then at least on TV, you could just write it off as this is just a segment, and it doesn't even have to end in the ring.
Yes,
it could have just been, like they did with the New Day coming to, the Wyatt house, and they just had an all-out fight. There was no winner, and they both backed off in the end. No ref, no nothing, just a fight. And that happened on TV. That was better than this.
The second the announcers and then JoJo after, before the match started, said, "This is a house," she's announcing this from the ring too, which is the dumbest fucking thing. WWE is they're just full of idiots. She's just like,
I mean, going into this, we knew that this probably was gonna suck.
Right. But she just goes, "This is a House of Horrors match. The match will begin at this house and then will end in the ring where people can win by pinfall or submission." And immediately,
or forfeiture.
Yeah, or forfeiture. And immediately my brain went, why the fuck is there a house part of this then? What's the point? What's the point?
The disconnect. Just a complete disconnect. This match should not have happened, especially if you wanted to end in the ring. When they did the match with before Final Deletion, the match where it was the Hardys against the Decay, I believe it was the first match that they had, where it started in the ring.
Delete or Decay, yeah.
It started in the ring. I don't think it was Delete or Decay. Maybe it was Final. It was Final Deletion. It was Final.
No. Final Deletion, I think, was
Delete or Decay was actually at the house. It stayed at the house the whole time.
Okay, never mind then.
But this one started in the ring. It was on their pay-per-view. It started in the ring, and then they just so happened to spill outside. And then that's where all the magic happened. Then you could do all your hocus pocus, and you could take the crowd on a ride, and then you literally give them a ride back. They go wherever. You give them that ride back, and then you end it in the ring. This way, it feels more chaotic. All right, these guys are fighting their asses off. They end up outside somewhere, and they end up on a fucking highway because they just can't be contained. And the crowd has to watch on the Titantron because they seen this chaos and they just want to know where it ends. They want to know what happens next. WWE from the start never took you on that ride because they prepared you for something that they couldn't deliver. They prepared you for the House of Horrors, and they said we're going to start in that fucking house.
And they told you
if you're going to start us in that house, then you need to sell that house as a big deal. The only thing that we got from that house was fucking hanging baby dolls, a dirty ass refrigerator, and some red ass lights. That's it.
And Bray Wyatt, son of the lights from blue to red.
What the? They never took us on a ride.
I thought Bray was going to turn the house on fire.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah,
but no, we're too PG for that
fucking
shit.
Implode. No, he just turned the lights red, and I'm like, all right, well.
They want to kill off Bray Wyatt so bad.
Lame ass Bray Wyatt powers again.
They want to kill him off so bad. He turned the lights red, but they didn't even give you a sound effect. Nothing.
No. It was just ha 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 ha, and the lights turned red.
Like,
can I tell you how
they never
furious?
took us on
Can
the
I tell
ride.
you how
That's
furious
retarded.
the guy I talked to? Can I tell you how furious he was when I brought up Bray Wyatt? He was fucking furious, just mad at all the shit that they've dealt with him thus far.
Hold on, who?
Remember the guy I was talking to, like the ring psychology thing?
Oh, okay. You saying that he was pissed off about it?
Oh God, I just brought up the name Bray Wyatt, and he went off on a rant for about 10 minutes about how bad they're fucking him up.
Yeah, good thing I wasn't around for that one. That would have went on way too long.
Oh man. So yeah, so Bray Wyatt turns lights red and then goes and tells the driver, "Take me to the arena," as he like fucking lays back in the car. Oh, by the way, we also have to put over the new #1 contender refrigerator hard body freezer.
Refrigerator. That's the new #1 contender.
The #1 contender.
It did pin Randy Orton. It got a 3 count.
Yeah,
it got a 3 count.
No, 3 wasn't enough. It needed 5.
It needed 5. I knew he was gonna say that. God damn it. So let's throw this in there. Another disconnect is Bray gets in the car. He's singing. He's got the whole world in his hands, and then we just go to the next match. The disconnect.
Yeah,
again,
that was the worst part.
With the Hardys, they showed you how they got back to the ring.
By the way,
showed you how they got back to the ring. They never went away from them. Here, he's got the whole world in his hands, and you're expecting for fucking Randy Orton to open the fucking window on the front and say, "Hey, I'm driving you to hell," or anything, or Orton to jump on a car, and you got none of that. Instead, we just go.
This would be like if you went to a movie theater to go watch like a Jason movie or a Freddy movie or something like that, right? Yeah, and what?
It said Randy Orton took an Uber back to the arena.
This would be like if you're watching a horror movie or something like that, right?
Right.
And they're, like the villain's about to get away or whatever, or like a hero's about to get away or something, and like something scary is about to happen, and like they get their drive away or whatever, and then they just stick a 15-minute ad in the middle of it.
That's exactly what they did.
That is exactly
the next
what
thing that
they
happened
did.
was a fucking
They
ad.
stuck a 15-minute ad in the middle of their movie, and people were just like, well, what the fuck? Like, why did you do this?
Like, what I thought that they were going to do, I thought you got the Hardys there, you're on the same brand, maybe, just maybe, they'll consult the Hardys and ask, what the fuck should they do with this match?
Apparently they didn't.
Not even close. Like, I shouldn't be watching this match, and as I'm watching it, thinking of every possible way in which this could have been better. That's not what I should be thinking.
Yeah.
Like, just the simple things. I'm watching this on my phone. I'm outside. I'm watching this on my phone. I'm like, I got my headphones on. I had these headphones on because my little earplugs, I fucking ripped them apart. So I got this big-ass Astros on. I'm watching it. I'm like, at some point, I'm going to have to turn this down because they're probably going to hit me with a jump scare. Nope, never fucking came.
Nope.
He's just riding in the car singing. He's got the whole world in his hands. I'm like, are you fucking WW? Are you kidding me?
You got #1 contender of refrigerator hard body freezer though. Oh man, here's the thing.
They don't want Bray Wyatt. They want him off the roster.
Here's the thing: when you corporatize things, the best thing you could come up with scary is like, ooh, look, he's got baby dolls on a ceiling, and
ooh, look, he can turn the lights red. What the fuck does that even mean?
Exactly.
What was that? What were they doing with that? Like, what did that indicate? Blackjack.
That was significant to Raw beating everybody on SmackDown.
Because from blue to okay.
Because Chris Jericho beat Kevin Owens, so technically a Raw person beat a SmackDown person, even though the Raw person went to SmackDown. The Raw person, well, we'll get to that when we get there, but essentially Raw went over SmackDown. That was the significance of the lights turning from blue to red.
Fuck that segment. So then we gotta fuck that match. So let's get back to the end of this match. Because the match in between, fuck that shit. I mean, like, did you care?
Okay, then let's quickly go over it.
Okay.
Seth Rollins,
But
Samoa
did you care?
I didn't care. I watched it, and even though they were selling the knee, I still didn't care.
Didn't care.
I just didn't care. And
Samoa
then
Joe
the end happened. I was like,
didn't even know it.
The end happened. I was like, really? The Destroyer got pinned on a roll up.
Samoa Joe was undefeated. You wouldn't know it, and they didn't even talk about it on commentary even after.
No, they did. No, they brought it up.
They did?
Yeah. They were like, at the beginning of the match, they were like, Samoa Joe is undefeated in singles matches. They made a point to bring that up in the beginning.
Oh, hell, I must have been no-selling that. How about at the end
It's
when
like
he finally
Samoa
lost?
I don't think they sold it as much. I don't remember them selling it afterwards, but before they were like, Samoa Joe's undefeated in singles matches, and then Seth Rollins rolls him up as he's in the Coquina Clutch. The Coquina Clutch, which is choked out people in NXT and made them spit up on themselves. Like the second you're putting that fucking Coquina Clutch, you're either going to sleep or, you know, you're taking a nap. I guess that's technically going to sleep too, but either way, you get put in that clutch. It's on this damn match. Yeah, it's over. Meanwhile, here's Seth Rollins just like, oh, you're undefeated? Let me just roll you up in this Coquina Clutch then. And somehow Samoa Joe isn't smart enough to hear the ref count going 1, 2, 3 to kick out of that shit. Like, I fucking hate WWE. They make people look so fucking stupid at times. Dumb fucking company. Fuck them. And then they get mad when like people get behind heels. This is why they get behind heels. You do stupid shit like this. Back to Bray Wyatt and Randy Orton.
There we go. All right. Because I'm not talking about that fucking match. Fuck that match. Like, how do they get you to care this little about Seth Rollins? How do they get you to care? Like, Samoa Joe, another Indies darling, another internet darling. And he did well for himself in NXT. And they make you not give a single fuck. Like, on the main roster, he feels like he's not even there, and he's there every week. He feels like he's not there. That's incredible. WWE, I gotta applaud them for the job they do on making sure motherfuckers don't get over. I don't know how you do this. I don't know how. This is a guy that people love, and they're just, nah, we ain't gonna do nothing with him. We'll let him be undefeated, but we ain't gonna do nothing with him. Let's move along. Yep. So back to the Bray Wyatt thing, because we got a nice surprise here. Yeah, we got a pleasant surprise here. So it wasn't the match. That's what it wasn't. They return back to the ring. Bray Wyatt comes out.
Bray Wyatt does this whole. Well, he comes out of the limo, and he does his whole spiel where he comes down to the ring, does his entrances, everything. The lights come down, and Randy Orton is behind him all of a sudden. And I thought for sure that motherfucker was about to RKO him out of nowhere and just pin that motherfucker and end it. I would have just laughed if that happened. I would have been like, "Yep, that's Bray Wyatt in a nutshell." That we did this whole fucking House of Horrors match just for Randy Orton to appear behind him, RKO him, and end the match.
So
I would have died if that happened.
So let's talk about how. All right, we're not gonna put too much time on this, but even their back and forth was shit. You know, once they actually had to have a match in the ring, even that was shit. And it was out comes the bro. Why are the Bollywood boy the Singh brothers? Why do they look so fucking tiny? Like, I know that they're not big, right? But they look like midgets next to Randy Orton.
That makes it so much better.
That shit, like, it was funny. Like, I don't know if they were told to come in the ring and stay low, but they look so fucking tiny. That was crazy to me, how small they looked. And once they got tossed out of there.
It also doesn't help that Randy Orton is 6'5" and has hypermobile fucking shoulders too.
Hypermobile shoulders? What is shoulder? What?
Yeah, I mean, the bigger your shoulders look, and the more they, the higher up they are, the bigger a guy can look or whatever. Yeah, this was amazing. It was. I tweeted this out in capital letters. Bray Wyatt needed number one.
Wait, God damn it, we ain't get there yet because we gotta put over.
Fine, all right. The fucking
we'll talk about your tweet after we put this guy over.
His brothers came out. He's got some little brothers who came out.
His little nephews came out.
His little nephews came out So go ahead. Okay, he's like, I'm gonna help Bray Wyatt real quick. Let me send all my brothers out there to try to hold down Randy Orton. Randy Orton fought him off or whatever, and Bray tried to Sister Abigail Randy Orton.
He said, I'm gonna subscribe. Midgets by Randy Orton. Go ahead. He butchered the spelling of midgets. I love it. Hey, Taekwon, he's new though. So yeah, let's get back to this. So your man, you seen him coming in that ring though, right?
Yeah.
Did you hit, bro? This man gets reaction now, man. I don't know.
Yeah.
This man gets reaction. Whether it's positive or negative, he's getting reaction. There is one thing that I don't like about what they're doing with number one contender Jinder Hardbody Mahal, though. There's one thing I don't like that they're doing with him. They got him playing to the crowd too much. And by that, I mean, he goes in there and he gets that upper hand on Randy. And instead of being aggressive and getting that heat by staying on Randy, he's paying way too much attention to the crowd. Like, you already got your heat. You came in, you talked your shit, just, acknowledge the crowd for your heat, but don't stay with the crowd. He also did that with his promo on SmackDown when he was addressing Randy Orton. He looking at Randy Orton sideways, but he's 1,000% talking to the crowd and not Randy at all. I want to feel like your fight with the crowd doesn't make you that much more believable unless you're attacking the guy who people think is better than you.
I agree with you. And I think for him, it's just like, holy shit, I'm getting a reaction for once. that motherfucker's been in 3MB way too long, and he's just like, holy shit, people are actually like reacting to me. Cool. Another thing that we forgot to mention, San Jose, California, it would have been 6:30 in the afternoon.
Yeah, Meltzer did.
Which means that it wouldn't have been pitch black dark during that match. Yeah, it would not have been pitch black dark wherever they were.
Well, they was at Bray's house.
And if they're gonna say, well, they weren't in California, how the fuck did they get to San Jose in 15 minutes then?
Let me say a couple of things right quick. A little buffer before we continue to talk about this. Real quick, anybody that wants to do, we're gonna do call-ins at the end of the show. We're gonna do our call-ins. Anybody could call in. Just join the Discord. The link is in the description. It'll say something about Discord. It's a Discord link. You could join it. Jump into any of the open voice chats, and we'll pull you in at the end of the show. If you have any questions, ask in the chat. I'm pretty sure that guys will help you get through it. Also, we did get a couple more guys that wanted to support the show. I will read those after we are finished talking about this match. So yeah, let's keep it going.
Yeah.
Hardbody Mahal, him playing to the crowd instead of getting heat by attacking.
Bruh, my man's came in there, and I just got to say this real quick.
Did you pop?
The Maharaja, number one contender, Jinder Hardbody Mahal.
Yes.
Had to help Bray Wyatt.
Yes.
In a match that he made up.
You know what? See now you're getting dark. You're getting dark. All right, I'm with you.
He made Bray Wyatt made this match up.
You're getting dark.
And yet, the only way that Bray Wyatt could win a match that he made up was by number one contender, Jinder Hardbody Mahal.
Yes.
The Maharaja himself.
Yes.
Interfering.
Yes.
To assist him in winning.
Bro, all right. First of all, I asked you this.
Bray Wyatt is no. Time out. Bray Wyatt is officially a bitch.
Trust me, we'll get there.
That motherfucker does not matter anymore.
So you're a full supporter of the Maharaja, number one contender, Jinder Hardbody Mahal. You're a full supporter of him, right?
Yeah.
When he came out, you popped, right? I didn't listen for your answer, even though I asked you that one. When he came out, you popped.
Yes.
Okay, so you popped. Great. Now, do you need his turban? I personally need his turban. I need it. I need his do-rag.
That shit was on the
Bro, that shit didn't move off his head.
No.
He's just full on attacking this guy with the belt, talking shit to the crowd. His do-rag did not move. The hang time on it is in the front on the side on his do-rag. That's crazy. I need that shit. I love that guy. Blanchard. I think he's winning the title.
If he doesn't win the title, I just don't know.
I'm legitimately starting to think that he's gonna win the title.
So am I. I'm thinking like he's gonna win the title and it's gonna be the greatest fucking thing ever.
Do you see how much I get? Do you get tweeted that GIF of him pulling up in that?
It's great. Level? Yeah, him pulling up
that shit
backwards.
Fits everything. It fucking fits. All right, when you watch the draft, I got heat by one person on this one. Not too much heat, but the NFL draft, the player that got drafted by the Falcons, you saw that, right?
Who?
He came. The player that got drafted by the Falcons, he came up. He had a picture of his grandmother.
Oh yeah.
He was just up there. He was cutting that promo.
Yes.
Was I wrong for saying that he pulled up like Jinder Mahal pulled up in that limo? He was holding the picture. Am I wrong for that?
A little bit.
How am I wrong for that? Bro, he pulled up on Roger Goodell. Like, fuck out the way. Fuck out the way. I got a promo to cut. Go ahead.
This wasn't Drew Pearson going full fucking heel on the Eagles.
Bro, that motherfucker. Bro, that's a heel promo right
That
there.
Shit was amazing. I was like,
heat.
That was heat. Just...
Mm-hmm. Oh, God. I love that one. I had to watch it.
Thank you, Eagles, for making sure that I had a long career in the God, this is... Like, even as a Giants fan, I was like, I hate the Cowboys, but this is amazing.
That was some damn good heat right there.
Yes.
That was clean. But yeah, bro,
man.
Like people pull it up like Hardbody Mahal, man. Dudes is pulling. Every time I see that GIF, I just start fucking dying laughing because he's talking so much shit, and he has that belt. Yes. Oh my God!
It legitimately looks. It kills me every time because
as soon as I find out how to get that damn GIF, I don't know how to copy GIFs. But as soon as I figure out how to do it, I'm making that shit like I'm making that a donation notification. It needs to be that. It just needs to. For everything. I'm taking off all Naomi's. Every single thing is going to be Hardbody Mahal. Everything. That shit is fucking gold.
I love how the driver at some point, because we're looking at it this way, had to essentially go backwards for that to happen. Like, he's in reverse driving that aggressively and then slowing down so that Jid can fucking raise the fucking title. Oh God.
Hold up. It's Sergio Morpho. I think I got that right. The Maharaja #1 contender Jinder Hardbody Mahal is legit over with Wyzatv ? Like, not a joke, but legit. Bro.
Listen, he's so over that now. I will actually be pissed off if the Maharaja #1 contender Jinder Hardbody Mahal does not win the title.
Oh, bro.
I will actually get pissed off.
Randy Orton to get booed. Randy Orton will get booed. Absolutely booed.
He will get booed.
Bro, he will get booed. The crowd don't know how to feel about Randy Orton when fucking Hardbody Mahal's around. That's great. So yes, this is legit. I legit love this guy right now. I love it. I love every single bit of it because I called it so fucking long ago and nobody saw it. And I thought I was fucking retarded for calling this shit. Everybody looked at me like, this motherfucker out of his damn mind.
I mean, to be fair, you would have to be out of your damn mind to think that.
I still think I was on point when I said that this motherfucker should have either beat or got DQ'd against Finn Balor and should have just beat the piss out of him. Now it makes sense. They should have did it. Hey, hell yeah. Yeah, it's legit. Legit. He's not Rusev level yet. Like, let's be real here. He's not Rusev level yet. But that motherfucker's making a strong put. If he wins the title, him, you got the Maharaja against the Rusev Crush. God damn. I might beat off to that match. So, yes, okay. Now let's talk about Bray Wyatt here in this situation.
Can we talk about the house for a quick second?
All right, let's get back to the house.
Apparently, the actual house is on sale right now.
Didn't I mention something about foreclosure?
Apparently, yes.
God damn it. How do I do this?
Because the actual house is currently on sale right now for $36,000.
That's it? Well, it was probably a nothing house, right?
Well, because here's the
put
thing: the
stuff in
house is
there?
actually in the middle of fucking Kansas City.
And it's Kansas City. So I don't know anything about Kansas City, but
It's in
I
Missouri
imagine that
and
it was
Kansas, depending on what side of Kansas City you're on.
I imagine that it was a nothing house that they just threw stuff in.
Yep.
And now are they selling it or are they auctioning it off?
It's for sale.
They should auction it off. Fucking do something with that. Donate it or something. Well, donate the proceeds to cancer research or some shit since they're big on cancer. Maybe testicular cancer because we finally got to put the guys over someday. Bray Wyatt. We got to talk about this.
I don't care about Bray Wyatt anymore,
bro.
After that finish,
I think they want to release him. I don't think they want him on the roster.
It was his own match. His own match.
Bro, like even Bray Wyatt loses everything, right? Loses every fucking match, right? He finally wins something that's remotely important to him. And he can't even do that his own way. He has to get help from a former 3MB member.
Yep. And
the Bollywood boys that come out dancing. He had to get help from them to win this match to someone
not even for the championship,
to someone that was previously a lackey of his.
Yep.
Bro, they don't like this dude. I understand paying your dues. I understand working your way up the ladder. Where's the ladder?
Why did you remix yourself? Why did you do that?
Where's the ladder for this guy?
You whoa, way back. Wait, remix.
Where is the ladder? Bro, if they has Bray won any ladder matches? I know he pushed Roman off of one time.
That was about it. Here's Bray's ladder. It's a ladder, and then he gets
hashtag that one.
And then he gets to the top and realizes that there's nothing there, and the ladder just falls.
Then he takes a bump and he finds himself in Chikara or something. So, bro, like
Jesus,
it's hard. It's hard to be a Bray fan. It's hard to
I don't know how Bray fans deal with this shit. I don't know how.
I don't know if there's any Bray fans left.
I don't know how this motherfucker won the WWE Championship.
The fucker comes out, he cuts these promos, and if you ain't no better, you thought this motherfucker was the king of the world.
Bruh, no, listen, Wyzatv. Here's the crazier thing about it. Technically, this motherfucker has been WWE champion.
He was?
Yeah.
I guess they threw him a bone. You know what? They threw him the skin off a piece of bone. Like, they ain't even give him a full-blown bone.
Here, touch this belt for a quick second.
Yeah. And then we're going to need you to go to the biggest stage of them all and lose it. Hey, but I said
here's an apology. Now give us it back, please.
It's like he found it in the lost and found. It's as if he did the hard body Mahal method, just stole a title and had to give it back. That's essentially what he had to do.
Yeah.
It's hard to be a Bray fan.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure most, if not everybody, has jumped off the bandwagon.
Even someone like Ambrose, it's like, well, you can say whatever you want about him. The motherfucker's technically the longest. Well, not well. According to WWE, he's the longest reigning U.S. champion ever. The motherfucker's won the Intercontinental Championship 2 times.
He's decorated,
he's currently holding on to it. He legitimately won the WWE Championship. He successfully defended it against Roman Reigns and against Seth Rollins. He at least beat Dolph Ziggler at a pay-per-view for that shit. Like, he has defenses under him. He's held titles for a period of time.
Not saying that his runs meant anything though. Like, let's not get that confused.
That's fine. But you know what?
You're debating the point of Dean versus.
I can at least remember his title reign.
Bray with the title reigns.
Even Bray's tag team title reign was shit. He won it and then lost it 2 weeks later.
It's hard out here, man.
That motherfucker was WWE Tag Team Champion, and it was his first championship win, and that motherfucker lost it 2 weeks later.
It's hard out here, man. I dug up his casket for nothing. Should have fucking kept the guy buried. God damn it. Hard out here for a pimp. Are we finished with this?
Yeah.
Hard body Mahal, pleasant surprise. Let me read off these gimmicks right here. We got Bomb Pump. We gotta change your name, big dog. I don't care if notifications aren't working. Still supporting the drug habit. The LOL. Then we got DJ94. That's a new name to me, I think. Hard body, clanging and banging. I don't get tired. You gonna get this work. Pull up. Hold up. You gonna get this work, Randy. Pull up Mahal. So he just put all his phrases, all of the phrases in there. No punctuation, no question marks, no commas, no periods, no nothing. Just a whole long, maybe this is all like one word. Maybe this is all just one catchphrase right here. But fuck that. We pulling up. I got to get that GIF, and I got to make it a notification forever. Him pulling up. But thank you guys for those. Now we got to talk about the most important thing on the show.
I have one question before we get to that.
Go.
So when the Maharaja, number one contender, Hardbody Mahal, wins the WWE Championship against Randy Orton.
I need all kinds of shit. Oh, we're going to do Hardbody Mahal appreciation night.
Okay. But when he does this, does he finally also bring aboard Mahabali Shera, and they do the Shera shuffle together in the ring with the ball?
No, sir. Sir.
Come on, bro.
I want nobody to search the Shera shuffle.
I want
need
nobody
Mahabali
to Shera and them Singh brothers together. No. In the ring, as Hardbody Mahal celebrates like a madman.
Yo, he's gonna fucking lose his shit.
Yeah, he's gonna lose his shit, and then all three of them are just gonna do the Shera shuffle together as Hardbody Mahal just going fucking crazy all over the place.
He's gonna win that title, and then Rusev's gonna come out and just stare at him. That shit's gonna be epic. But sir, no Shera shuffle, no Shera sir. No, it's not, sir. No.
We ain't got any other Indians, though.
Don't kill the moment. What if he brings Daivari?
Does the Great Khali come out and give him like 5 bitches, though?
Khali out there slinging that thing?
I mean, he used to be the Punjabi playboy, and now,
All right.
Hey, he just wants to get the man. Hey, listen. If AJ Styles had to be in the ring at one point with fucking Mahabali Shera and pretend to do the fucking shuffle with him, never mind.
I might have to do a live watch party just for the Mahal match. Yo, I'm so serious. Like I my reactions need to be fucking televised to that match. My reactions need to be televised. Yeah. That's gonna happen. That's gonna be a thing. Just that match though, not the show. Just that match. Yeah, I'm going to promote the fuck out of a watch party of that match. It's going to be insane. So, now we got the most important part of the show coming up. Main event.
Braun Strowman versus Roman Reigns. Oh, God. They this bullshit they did, man. Like, I just watched and I was like,
what? What didn't you like about this?
I just didn't care. Like,
Sir,
this
you
motherfucker
really despise Roman Reigns.
No,
it's just you do.
No, this man has what did he have? Like a separated fucking shoulder, a broken this and that, and blah 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 blah. And here comes this motherfucker like fighting like he's at full fucking health. Just fuck up out of here. You going up?
No, I can't.
This motherfucker's going up. No.
That's not the.
No. Listen, Kalisto's in a fucking dumpster in Kansas City right now, okay?
So he's in Bray's backyard?
He's in Bray's backyard right now, where Bray's career is at.
Oh, God.
Buried for fucking ever with that house that's currently on sale for $36,000. So apparently that's how much the both of them are worth. And you're telling me Roman Reigns comes in here with a fucking broken this and a separated shoulder and all this other shit, and he's out here having a believable fucking match with Braun Strowman? Fuck up out of here. I ain't about that bullshit. Fuck you.
Wait. So, first off, Strowman was destroying this man in this match, by the way. Roman
for a
stuff
minute
came in spurts. The commentary did what I thought was a really good job. Actually, a nauseating job. I changed that. A nauseating job at putting over how hurt Roman is and he can't breathe and all of that stuff.
And that's all I could think about the entire match.
Because once again, they're trying to give you, and we started off the stream by talking about this. They're trying to make Roman a sympathetic babyface when that's not his character.
Mm-hmm.
That's not even how he looks. He doesn't look like you should be sympathetic toward him because he's bigger than most people.
Can I just say something for a quick minute? There's I actually rewatched an old video that I liked back in the day. There's this guy Northpaw, and he did a guest feature on this guy's channel as a video, and about pop culture and like music or whatever. It was talking about like how the top 40 is like, if you're at a college party or whatever and you're just with a bunch of girls, like, you're listening to like Kesha or like Drake or whatever, and it's just like, it's whatever, it's just music you dance to or whatever. And but in like normal life you don't necessarily like listen to that, but he had a friend or his roommate or whatever who would always listen to that same music while they were like, while he was studying and stuff. And he was just like, why do you listen to that? And he talked about how someone like Drake is made in such a way that he is supposed to appeal to as many audiences as possible, because they want to, essentially what the company behind him wants to do, or what the machine behind him wants to do, is to make him as appealable as possible to as many audiences as possible. So it's like they go up to him and they say like, hey, listen, Drake, you need like a few songs about the anthem and all that other stuff. You need a song about the bitches, and then once in a while you need a song about how you're all emotional and shit like that. And the problem is that those characters don't match up with one another, and at times they even contradict one another. So to normal fucking people who listen to this shit go and they're like, I don't believe it. Like, how is Drake this, but he's also this? That's kind of almost similarly what the problem with
I like
that's
that.
almost similarly what the problem with Roman Reigns is.
I absolutely like that
They try
analogy.
so hard.
I like that.
They try so hard to make him appeal to so many people that they end up contradicting what they actually are. So in the ring, I'm supposed to believe that this is some badass Samoan, but on commentary, they're selling me that, feel bad for Roman Reigns. And I'm like, no, fuck off. Oh, how am I supposed to believe that? And he's in this match having a seriously competitive match, even though he's supposed to have this separated shoulder and, feel bad for him. No, fuck this guy. And that's the problem. He
was working underneath.
There was a point in this match where I saw him legitimately take over for about 2 minutes, and I was like, oh, you get the fuck out of here. Are you kidding me?
You said 2 minutes, not 10.
The match was only 11 minutes, Wyzatv.
That's it? It was only 11?
It was only 11.
Okay, and Braun beat the piss out of him for a good 9 of it. What's wrong?
But back to the point. My thing is just like that whole appeal of multiple audiences thing doesn't help him at all. It doesn't. And it's not even like I hate him thing. It's I hate what they're doing with him. And it doesn't help him whatsoever. It makes me hate him because I hate what they're doing to him. They essentially, in so many ways, give me so many reasons to not get behind him whatsoever. And this match was the greatest example of it. Of in ring, they're selling me one thing. On commentary, they're selling me another. And then people are always going to bitch and moan and be like,
the commentary matched up with what was going on in the store.
No, because
different?
He legitimately picked this. Okay, so for instance,
are you saying that Roman should not have had any offense?
No, that's not what I'm saying.
So I'm lost here.
So go back to the Seth Rollins Samoa Joe match, right? There was a spot. Okay, there was a spot where Seth Rollins is selling his knee. And as he's selling the knee, he's trying to lift up Samoa Joe for the buckle bomb. And he actually has assistance from the top rope to go ahead and suplex Samoa Joe. And you see that struggle there with his knee, and his knee buckles on him, and Samoa Joe's about to take over and try to suplex him. But you saw the struggle there. And then as Joe is about to reverse that and go ahead and just suplex, Seth, because he thinks he has it under control, Seth then falcon arrows him onto the mat. And I like that because it at least it's showing me the struggle of, okay, there are moments when Seth Rollins' knee actually comes into play. And that struggle of him being able to get leverage for certain moves happens. And then at some point, he wills himself to do a move. And then, you see the struggle beforehand before he can actually do it. And in that instance, like normally Seth Rollins hits a falcon arrow, he gets you all the way up in the fucking air and then does it. He has to do a snap one in this situation because he can't. Whereas with Strowman and Reigns, there was one spot in particular where you had a similar situation where Reigns is supposed to be going up for the fucking Samoan drop, and Braun Strowman's 350 fucking pounds. 350 fucking pounds.
Samoa Joe ain't that much less.
Huh?
Samoa Joe ain't that much less.
He's 280.
Yeah, that's what they tell you. You can't
but
tell me Samoa Joe's not
okay,
300
but
pounds.
Braun
That's
Strowman is also 6'8" and 350. So it's also the height too. So your center of gravity is completely.
6'8".
He is 6'8". They say he's 6'8".
Oh, they say he's okay.
Okay, okay. Listen.
Okay.
We know Big Cass is not 7 feet tall, so okay, fine. But I imagine Braun Strowman's
he's
about
a tall guy.
Yes, he's tall.
I see where you're
going.
I see where you're going. Let me counter.
But he goes. But hold on. He goes up for the Samoan drop and just gets him up and drops him. You don't see the struggle with Reigns. You just see he outpowers something and then just goes on to do it.
Let me throw this at you because you mentioned Seth. Seth was a big part of what you're presenting here. Have they ever built up the strength of Seth Rollins?
Like as a legitimately strong
Seth Rollins. Have you ever even heard a mention of the strength of Seth Rollins?
Well,
like the same way they'll do. Oh my God, the strength of John Cena. How does he do this?
Okay, that's fair. No, they haven't.
Okay, so it makes sense that he'll. I mean, of course, it makes sense that he'll struggle because he's beaten up and all of that, and it makes sense. Even if he wasn't beaten up, he still should struggle picking up, Samoa Joe because of the weight difference here, and also because they don't put over the strength of Seth Rollins. Now with Roman Reigns, even though I don't think he's as strong as they want you to believe, they still always because they want to super Roman this guy, the strength of Roman Reigns. They always got him picking up big people and that whole jazz, right? Mm-hmm. So and he's done it with Braun. You've already seen him do it with Braun. Enough so that him picking up Braun is believable. Now, he is busted up and he is injured. A Samoan drop, you see people do that like it's nothing, even to big, huge guys. They do it and they do it quick. And it's almost like a snap. They just snap and boom, you're up, down. It's also something that's done with a lot of help because of the jump. Now, we're not going to get into that because that's the behind the scenes thing with how they do their moves. But it's not like he picked him up for a falcon arrow, Blackjack. He just fucking lifted him up on his back and fell backwards. Let's not compare these. That's all it was. It's hop up on my back and let's fall.
You still have to get the weight of the person.
How long did he have him up for, Blackjack? Did he have him up for a 10 count or he got up and he fucking fell back?
I mean, Seth Rollins had maybe Samoa Joe in the air for a second and falcon arrowed him.
Sir, we're talking about a falcon arrow and somebody just falling back.
Okay, listen.
Remember
when I said before that normally Seth Rollins gets the motherfucker in the air to do it?
Seth Rollins maybe got him up to shoulder length and hit the Falcon Arrow.
We're also comparing one. All right, one, we're comparing a much more difficult move,
correct,
on a guy that's never been billed as the strength of, compared to a guy that does a very easy move and they also build him as the strength of. There's a huge difference.
I mean, don't get me wrong, the
degree of difficulty is way different.
I mean, because essentially with the Samoan drop, it's a momentum move and you're just falling backwards. But the struggle of him getting him up on his shoulders, I mean, you should be able to know that from...
I'm going to go back and watch
how,
that move.
No. He was going... It took him a while for him to get him up on it. Like, he was up on his shoulders at a point and him pushing all the way up. Like, there was a build up to that moment. Whereas the Falcon Arrow happened in a snap second.
How old were you when you first started watching wrestling?
I don't know, maybe like 7, 8.
Okay. Who was wrestling around that time?
Probably The Rock, Austin, Kane, Undertaker.
No, you had to be older than that.
Yeah, no, 97, 98. Yeah, that would have been Kane, Undertaker, Stone Cold, Rock. Baby? Yeah, I'm a 90s kid.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. So, damn. So it's kind of gonna be kind of hard to give you an example of what I mean with that, but excuse me, allergies is still coming out of me. All right. So if we go back to the days where we have the Land of the Giants, right? And if you watch the Land of the Giants and you have Hulk Hogan body slam Andre the Giant, we look at that. We will look at something like that today and be like, all right, I don't see the big deal, right? Because it's a big guy slamming another big guy, or a huge fucking dumpster truck, right? But as a kid, you watch it and you're watching in amazement because, hey, he shouldn't be able to do that. And that right there is what sold WrestleMania 3 after WrestleMania 3. The body slam. It's known as the body slam. So if you're a part of the younger audience and you look at this match with Roman Reigns today, and he fucking Samoan drops Braun Strowman, to us as adults, we look at that like, hey, this guy's busted up. He probably shouldn't be able to do that. But you also got to throw the younger audience something. It can't cater to just us. You got to throw these kids something too. So when you watch this, you got to kind of, okay, that part right there, that's not for me. How do you give the kids something believable or something that they could get excited for while also keeping it legitimate with us? Sometimes we just got to overlook something. I think in that situation, I could legitimize it by saying the guy just got up on his back and he fell back, done. And I don't care about that, but the kids are pop for that because it's a big feat that the kids just saw. To me, it makes sense. That's something I don't care about that. Now, if Roman was out here fucking doing Falcon arrows and fucking gorilla press slams to Braun Strowman and fucking Michinoku drivers and whatever the fuck those shits are called, doing all of that stuff, then okay, now we got a problem. Because you shouldn't even do that while you're healthy, let alone while you're busted up and commentary's telling me that you can't breathe. That's not what was going on. This was simple. Degree of difficulty, very low. And he pulled it off. I don't see the problem.
All right, we're just going to have to disagree on that then.
Fair enough.
But that's fine. Overall, the match was great when Braun Strowman just finally just killed this fucker and got it over with.
That's when shit got live. Hold on, let me see something because... Hold up. Getting questions. Does Wyzatv have donations? Oh, well, they're on, but for some reason notifications aren't popping up. So I just have to read them after we finish with the matches that we're talking about. That's what I've been doing in between. So yes, they are on, but I don't know, something's wrong. They're not popping up. The end of the match, because we did get the Braun Strowman as the winner, as he should have. I didn't like Roman kicking out of shit.
Okay, that's oh, you know what? You just reminded me of something else, Tim. So, you know how because you saw Wrestle Kingdom 11.
Right.
The big part of Omega losing was that he kicked out of everything Okada could throw at him, but he never got to hit his finisher. So you never knew whether or not, if we get this match again and Omega hits his finisher, is it over? There was still that element to it, and that's what the build was a lot to that match, was that like, oh shit, if he hits this finisher, it's over. Because it's been protected all this time. I did not like Strowman kicking out of the spear. So to be fair, this is not like me just hating Roman. I didn't even like Strowman kicking out of the spear. Although I get it, if you want to solve a whole, well, he was injured and he could dig into the full power of it thing, whatever, fine. I still don't think he necessarily needed to use the spear there. As a matter of fact, I think that Reigns should have hit 0 spears in this match. And I did not like
Spears
Reigns.
been kicked out of, though. I mean, it's his finish.
Right. Lesnar kicked out of it. Rollins kicked out of it. And I think that's it.
So, you do it to a guy that's like 3 times his size, go on ahead, kick out.
All right, that's fair. But still, it's just...
if Goldberg did it, that's different. Because motherfuckers wasn't kicking out of his spear.
Right. And then I didn't like the idea of Roman Reigns kicking out of Braun Strowman's power slam. I didn't think that needed to happen either.
Say it again. When he just got the shoulder up?
Yeah, I was just like, where he got the shoulder up and Sami Zayn that shit, and I was like, really?
Now, I understand they wanted to build to a bigger finish. I get that. But sometimes in matches, and this is where I've had this disconnect with wrestling, I want to see, for once, right? Let's talk about. I'm going to talk about a match in ECW.
Okay.
Because I think it's a fair comparison to where I want to go.
Okay.
You got Jerry Lynn versus, I believe, RVD. No,
Who?
It was Jerry Lynn and that fucking boring guy, Lance Storm.
Wow.
Where
Very
they had a
old
match.
Lance Storm here.
Fuck it. Where we have a match where they didn't go outside and they didn't throw any punches. They just had a straight up technical match. And for that to happen in ECW was unheard of. Just is blasphemous. Because everything was fucking outside. Everything was weapons and fucking garbage cans and wildness. They had a match where there's no outside, no punches thrown, no fucking flying around in the air, none of that. Just a basic match. And it ended up being one of the matches of the year in ECW. Like, not in ECW, but from ECW, but around the world, right?
Mm-hmm.
I use that to... Damn, where was I going with this? What were we just talking about before I mentioned that?
Kicking out of finishers.
All right, kicking out of finishers. So for once, if we could have something like that where it's just so different, you got a landscape of ECW where it's craziness, and now you have these guys who have a match like that, where it's just so different from the norm. Right now, what the norm is everybody kicking out of finishers, everybody going for pins where, you know it's not going to end the match. How about for once? Just for fucking once. And it's also happened in a match with Low Key and Samoa Joe in ROH, where this is another good example. In their match, they would kick out at 1. Every single time. Kick out at 1. So that way, when you get a 2 count, you think the match is about to be over. But they always kick out at 1 just to show their ego and their bravado and their pride. And finally, when you got that 2 count, the 3 count followed. Because motherfuckers was kicking out at 1 in that match. In WWF, I would like just one time, I want to have a match where you go to distance and nobody fucking pins anybody until it's the end of the match. I mean, you just brutally just beat each other to a point where, all right, or maybe you can even do the 1 count gimmick. But I don't want to see 2 counts always getting kicked out of. Because it's like, why is nobody kicking out at 1 anymore? Like, you get a hair drag, 1, 2. Why we got a 2 count on somebody fucking pulling your hair? Go.
Okay, come on. All right, time out. Sorry, I didn't mean to no sell you.
Nah, I know.
But
Chat,
because you made a great point, and I want to get back to it.
Nah, I need to know what's getting put over right quick.
Remember when we were talking about Bray Wyatt?
Okay. God damn it, you can't be the only one laughing. This is like me fucking getting that tweet about gender and I'm the only one laughing. Stop, I need to know.
All right. So it was Andrew Boris 17 tweeted at us, and he goes, when Bray Wyatt gets so top of the ladder. Remember when R-Truth, like, he was competing for the Intercontinental Championship? He put a ladder in the middle of the ring, and there was nothing up there.
With Bray Wyatt. I looked at it. No. Why is the ladder shaking? There's a struggle. Wait, there's a legit struggle.
Yeah.
This signifies everything about Bray Wyatt. All right, so in the beginning of the show, we talked about our Twitters. Mine is at WyzNow, WYZNOW. If you don't follow, it's in the description. As is Blackjack's. It's 20. I mean, no, it's 21 Blackjack, right?
Yes, I'm actually crying right now.
I'm going to retweet it. Blackjack has already retweeted it. This is so symbolic over everything we just said about Bray Wyatt in the segment before. It's so perfect.
Yes.
But
oh,
yeah,
dear Lord.
But yeah, that right there, man, just something different for once, with the whole pins thing. Pins need to mean something.
No,
pins
but that's actually something
now.
that I've wanted WWE and just wrestling in general to do. You do near falls. Like, there's so many matches where I just see near fall after near fall after near fall, and I'm like, I don't know what
to them.
Yeah, and you don't see enough
God,
of just
they
guys.
Tweeted the piece of the Shera shuffle. Oh God, no.
Yeah.
Continue.
But yeah, no. The biggest thing to me is that you really want to sell how much a move hurts, and that's why signature moves don't matter anymore. Like, you see Ziggler hit a super kick, or you see Randy Orton hit his DDT off the ropes. You see Reigns throw a Superman punch, and the pop isn't so much for he can win with this move. It's that it is setting up for the bigger move. You know what I mean? There's no psychology of moves anymore. Mm-hmm. It's just everything goes for a 2 count, and the person just kicks out at 2 or whatever. And you don't even hear announcers. Like, I used to listen to, once in a while, I try to listen to some older stuff in WWE and, see what happened. And I would hear so much the commentators sell, like, oh, well, he didn't have the shoulders pinned down or whatever. They would really sell how much, like, how you pinned a person mattered and why they kicked out of certain moves. You don't get that as much now. Now it's just like they hit a move or whatever, and if it's like a finishing move and it didn't get the job done, they're like, well, maybe he didn't get all the leverage there. But back then they would sell simple moves and be like, well, that could have gone for 3 if he had just it wasn't so cocky. But it's like Razor Ramon's in the ring and he's just like, nah, fuck it, I'm powerful, whatever. I don't need to waste my time trying my hardest to pin this guy. We don't get that anymore. So no, I think you're absolutely right. In which I think we need to see more people kicking out at 1 on moves that don't matter, and that when that 2 count comes, it actually matters a lot more. Those near falls need to actually feel as if the person is about to lose. Mm-hmm. Whereas nowadays the near fall is just like, all right, whatever. When are they hitting the finisher?
Yeah.
And when they hit the finisher,
the finishers too.
Yeah.
So it's people think that wrestling can't be saved, and I think it's such basic stuff that could save wrestling. That right there being one of them, because they've taken suspense away from it. They've made us numb to suspense. That's another thing that makes not everything, but that's another thing that makes stuff predictable. It's something as simple as that. Simple things that they've gotten away from, and it sucks. All right, so we got to get back to talking about the destruction of Roman Reigns here.
Oh, right, because then after this, after Braun Strowman hits the second power slam and finally pins this motherfucker and puts him on his back, he decides that's not enough. Motherfucker gets steps in the rings and just throws him face first into it. And I think he damages his ribs.
Stairs.
And then they do all their replays and everything. And Braun's like, still not finished with you. I'm going to go ahead and just slam these stairs into your chest and fuck you.
When did Roman's mouth get busted open?
Well, you know what? They probably did the remember when Triple H beat him down and they fed him a capsule? I imagine that's what happened.
I don't remember seeing anything there. I'm like, maybe I missed it. I'm not even sure.
Neither do I, but I feel like this is them giving that compassion angle where it's like Roman's the only one who can bleed, so let's give him a capsule. He bleeds from his mouth so you can feel bad for him. But what they don't realize is that they're actually building up Braun Strowman as a babyface because they don't know what the fuck they're doing.
I actually do think it might have been capsule or, definitely fake, because if it wasn't, they wouldn't have kept the
Where was it before?
They would not that, but they wouldn't have kept the camera on it, and they would have been trying to, get a towel around it, just to wipe it off or something. If it was legit, they would have been trying to get a towel on it just to, so once they get that camera back on them, no blood being seen. But this isn't the only time that we've seen Roman bleed. We also saw him bleed with the Triple H attack, and they wanted to focus that blood. So
like, look how bloody he is, and people were like, "Yeah."
Speaking of blood, how do we have a House of Horror match with no blood?
Wasn't like Orton bleeding from? No, there was blood at one point. Yeah, Orton got snuck attack at the beginning, and then he was on the couch or whatever, and it looked like he was bleeding from his shoulder or something.
Well, that's silly.
Yeah, it did look like there was blood at one point. But no, not to the degree that like Roman Reigns is bleeding tonight. No. That is a good point. Yeah, how did we have a House of Horrors
with no fucking blood?
That's an excellent point.
All right, so we're gonna finish up this one, and then we're gonna take our call-ins. So you could jump on the Discord, that whole schmozz, me. All right, yeah. In the meantime, because we still got to talk about, we talked about it to start off the show with, the backstage thing. But real quick, G-Man 2335, he sends, "I'm not finished with you yet, Roman." Also, fuck Bayley. "I'm not finished with you yet, Roman." And fuck Bayley. Definitely fuck Bayley. She took this L tonight to the face, so fuck Bayley. Also, JC Ballin says, "I got to toss Wyzatv this shovel real quick before he gets completely buried by these allergies." Yeah, these allergies have been... this right now is the best that I've been all week. I don't know how. Like, all week my eyes have been fucking completely bloodshot red and closed. It's been terrible. And I've been sneezing and snot flying all over the place all week. Let's see. Oh, do we need to talk about that after the show segment? You
can talk about it. I'll be right back because I wasn't there for it.
You weren't there for it? Well, yeah. We already talked about it earlier in this. If you missed it, let me get the chat back over here. If you missed it after the show, Roman was helped to the back. They got him. He's crawling down the wall. He's got blood coming out of his mouth. He's spitting up blood on the wall. They're really trying to sell his blood thing with Roman, just to get some sympathy on it. They're still trying to build him as a sympathetic babyface. And they help him to an ambulance, like an ambulance van. He's with Finley. And he's like, "Hey, I don't want any help. I'm good." Finley just disappears from sight, and you just hear this motherfucking Rhino come running, screaming, "I'm not finished with you yet!" And Roman sidesteps him. He fucking tears the door off the ambulance and takes a bump into a stack of boxes. Afterward, he comes back to attack Roman for some reason. I don't know what happened, but I guess Roman might have hit him in the stomach or something. He's bent over, and then Roman's just with his one good arm just slamming the door on him back and forth, just keeps slamming the door on him until he finally just, I guess, fell. And they went off the air with that. Just like we're going to go off the air. Blackjack, can we go off the air?
That depends. What are we doing afterwards?
Going off the air.
Oh, we're going off the air. All right. Well, I mean, fine. I just wanted to get some water because I thought you were doing call-ins, but
I was, but the people that were here, I guess they took.
Oh, they left.
Call.
All right. Well, then fuck it. All right. Bye.
Wait, you can't do the all right bye, and I'm not ready for the all right bye.
Uh,
God damn it! I gotta be ready for.
I took my sip of water. Are we bye?
Okay.
Are we still